Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's flight, the first ever flight of Helix. I'm Cole Stadler, also known as Mission Control, founder of Eclipse Space, and your host for today's flight. And I'm joined here today by Eclipse Space lead propulsion engineer, Parker Miller. Parker, how are you feeling today?
Thanks, Cole, and I'm feeling great as we approach the first ever flight of our launch vehicle, Helix. The teams here at Eclipse have been hard at work for the last few months, and all that hard work has led up to today.
Yeah, today's flight is a pretty big moment for Eclipse, so let's talk about what you can expect from the flight. At T minus 1 minute and 15 seconds, the vehicle will enter startup. The 5 Otter engines will then ignite at T minus 4 seconds, followed by liftoff of Helix. Helix will then pass through the maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle, also known as max Q, at T plus 53 seconds. At T plus 2 minutes and 5 seconds will be MECO or most engine cutoff, followed by stage separation and second engine startup. The fairings will then separate, and after a long burn from the second stage engine will cut off, and after all that is done, Helix will be in space.
Now, we do want to emphasize that today's flight is a flight test. Anything is possible and success is not guaranteed, so don't be surprised if the flight doesn't go perfectly. But with that being said, today's flight is a little bit more than just a test for Helix. We also have a payload on board.
Yeah, today's payload is the Eclipse Technological Demonstrator, also known as ETD, which now you can see a live view of in Helix's payload fairing. ETD's main purpose is to validate Eclipse Space's ability to design, build, launch, and operate a spacecraft. ETD will test many systems like solar cells, phase arrays, RCS, and much more.
ETD is one of the many things that we believe will help us expand our capabilities in a fast and easy manner. For example, you might have realized that the pad here at Launch Complex 19 is a quite bit overkill for the size of Helix, but this is not by mistake. We intentionally made Launch Complex 19 able to support more powerful vehicles so that when we develop a vehicle more capable down the line, we would ideally be able to use the Launch Complex 19 for Helix and any other future vehicles without any major changes.
Now, as we come up on T plus 5 minutes, those 5 Otter engines are going to perform some gimbal checks to verify that they will have sufficient control of the vehicle. There you can see a live view of those Otter engines. Let's look for those gimbal checks. And those gimbal checks seem to be complete. Speaking of those engines, since we have the lead propulsion engineer here with us today, Parker, why don't you tell us a little more about the engines that will power Helix to space today?
Yeah, so today, Helix has 2 different engines powering it to space. On the first stage, we have Otter, and on the second stage, we have Martin. Let's start with Otter, which you can see a video of one now. Otter is a Methalox gas generator engine, meaning that it runs on methane and liquid oxygen. The first stage is equipped with 5 of these engines, and all 5 can gimbal to control the vehicle. Now, let's talk about Martin. Martin is also a Methalox engine, but unlike Otter, it is a closed cycle engine, not a gas generator. The second stage is only equipped with 1 of these engines, which can also gimbal.
Now coming up, we have a few events. First, the strongback's claw that is currently around the vehicle will retract. After that, we should hear callouts from our launch director that both stages have completed fueling. So let's look out and listen for those events.
Strong back claw retract. Stage 1 propellant load complete. Stage 2 propellant load complete.
As you have just heard, both stages are fully fueled. We are currently tracking no issues as we approach startup of Helix.
Vehicle is in startup.
As you just heard, Helix is in startup. The tanks are pressurized for flight, and the vehicle now has control of the countdown.
Launch director is go for launch.
And we have go for launch. Godspeed, Helix.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Ignition. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Stage 1 outer chamber pressure nominal.
We are T plus 31 seconds into flight. All 5 outer engines are running nominally, and there we have an incredible view from onboard Helix as it makes its way to space.
Max Q.
And as you just heard, we are through maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Now, the aerodynamic loads will start to decrease on Helix as it makes its way up to the thinner parts of the atmosphere.
Now coming up, there will be 3 events that happen in quick succession. First will be main engine cutoff, or MECO, followed by stage separation, and after that, the second stage engine will ignite.
Miko.
There's Miko.
Stage separation confirmed.
There's stage separation.
Second engine start.
And there is second stage ignition. That burn should last for a little over 3 minutes. It does appear that we might have had an early shutdown of that second stage engine. Please stand by.
So yeah, it does look like there was an anomaly with the second stage engine, so unfortunately we will not be making it to orbit today. But as we said earlier, this is a test flight, so success was not guaranteed.
Yeah, and even though we didn't make it as far as we wanted to, today was still a big day for Eclipse Space.
So what we're going to do now is figure out what happened with the second stage engine, apply changes, and come back with Flight 2, which we plan to launch as soon as next month.
I want to congratulate the entire Eclipse Space team for getting us as far as we got today. Make sure to follow our X account for any updates on today's flight, other flights, and testing. Thank you for joining us for today's flight, and we hope to see you again for the next one. Goodbye.